This year has been far from normal, and as a result, the Publican Awards has had to adapt and pivot to reflect the realities of the situations you all face. The judging has been conducted in the virtual world, as will the event on March the 30th, where we'll be bringing you all the fun awards, but in your own homes. The aim of the awards this year has been to reflect on the outstanding ways in which businesses have flexed and pivoted to survive the crisis. No matter what has been thrown at them, the companies that make up all our finalists have not just rolled with the punches, but have adapted and in some cases even thrived. These are companies that not only worked hard to look after their businesses, but also their teams and the communities they serve. When we decided to press on with the Publican Awards, despite the challenges we were all facing, we were keen to use this event as a platform to learn together from some of the great things our finalists have done. What better way than to pick up some great insight and tips from some of the best operators in the business. So we put together these videos, and I'd urge you all to share these with your teams and colleagues, and hopefully they can help spread some inspiration ahead of the reopening in a few weeks and months. Thanks once again for the continued support from our category partners, who despite their own challenges have enabled us to carry on running this event in the face of such a difficult market. So enjoy, learn and share, and I look forward to being able to get into your sites in person before too long.
BrewDog is known as a craft beer business. We were founded in 2007 by two men and a dog, and now we are a business with 2,000 fantastic crew members. We have 105 BrewDog bars around the world, and we export beer to over 60 countries. At BrewDog, we believe firmly that business can be a force for good. And our approach to sustainability is absolutely at the core of that. So a number of years ago, we really felt that we were doing enough to make a difference. We were doing things like removing plastic from our supply chain and from our locations. But the reality is that we realised over the last 24 to 36 months that we weren't even scratching the surface. We think that in years to come, a couple of things that are really important are going to happen. Firstly, we think that how consumers decide to spend their money will become equally as important as how they decide to vote in terms of the impact that they have on the planet. And secondly, we think that the most successful businesses and the most sustainable businesses will be the same thing. So we have put everything on red. We've put sustainability at the heart of everything that we're doing. We have a £40 million programme over the next 24 months to invest in a suite of sustainability initiatives across our business. And as of 2020, we are the world's first carbon negative brewery. Given how much work the BrewDog team have put into our sustainability plan, and given how much is ahead of us in terms of that journey, and we will get things right and wrong along the way, and we will always be transparent about that, but given all of those things, then being recognised for what we've done in amongst all of our fantastic industry peers would be amazing for the team. And I think the real benefit for us is the brilliant recognition that our team would get for all of the hard graft and the hours and the blood, sweat and tears they've put in to driving the BrewDog sustainability agenda. If we were to win this award, then it would mean so much to the team. And the reality is that the team have put so much time, effort, blood, sweat and tears into driving the BrewDog sustainability agenda over the last few years. They've achieved so much, but we've got so much left to do as well. So I think the fact that we would be recognised in amongst some fantastic industry peers for this really crucial award would be brilliant recognition for everything that they've done to help us get to this point on our sustainability journey.
Firstly, I'm super proud that from the outset we committed to building a business that trod as lightly as possible on the planet, and obviously wanting to have a commercially successful business, but making sure that we did that in a way that was very mindful of the impact we were having. 8 years down the track, we haven't lost our passion with that, and if anything, we're more committed. 3 years ago, we were really fortunate to be shortlisted for the inaugural Best Sustainable Company category in these awards. And I think at that point there was, a few years ago, there was a turning point when sustainability was very firmly on everybody's radar, and it was huge for us to be recognised. Ever since that point, like I said, we've retained our commitment and our energy and our passion to look to each angle of the business, each corner of the business, and work out what it is that we need to do to be able to satisfy our desire to operate sustainably. The biggest thing is that if you look at sustainability, and it seems like this, can be it's a huge piece. There are so many areas and aspects of it, but my advice would be pick one area, pick one goal, whether it's separating waste, which is huge, or conserving water, or managing your electricity suppliers. Just pick an area, and you can actually make big gains by starting small, and you'll realise that it all kind of snowballs together and one thing leads into another, and before you know it, you've actually got a wider sustainability programme. We engaged at the outset with the Sustainable Restaurant Association, so whilst we're very much a group of bars, it's a very sharing community, because everybody's committed to helping everybody become more sustainable. It's all for the greater good, so anyone who's trying to do anything in this area should be saluted. We've got the same team essentially that we began with, and we've really stuck to our guns, and against all, we've had all of the challenges that everybody has faced this year, and we've really stuck to our principles. And it would be amazing to recognise all of those efforts, to be a zero waste to landfill business, to be a business that has supported English suppliers. It isn't just about the people in the bars and the guests in the bars, it's actually about everybody else who contributes to the hospitality industry. And I feel as though we've tried really, really hard to make sure that those people have been looked after by us, that we've committed to them. So to be recognised again, to be continuing the good work and to be building on the work would just be immense.
What we found was, if I'm very honest, I sat at the Publican Awards 2 years ago and was listening to the finalists of this award and realised although we were doing some great things, we had a long way to go. Since then, we've looked at things like our energy. So our utilities are all now from renewable sources. Gas is actually carbon offset, where we pay a levy for replanting of trees. We've got air source heat pumps and a brand new treatment plant at our country pub, which actually cleans the water coming out of our building better than what's already in the watercourse and releases back in. So the first pandemic was actually the first lockdown, was more about supporting our communities. We had a hell of a lot of excess stock because it's before Mother's Day. So we started a click and collect store. We were feeding from this site we're in today, the homeless. We're doing 375 meals a day throughout the pandemic, 7 days a week. The amount of our team who came forward and volunteered and wanted to do things for their communities was incredible. Now, the third lockdown is the really exciting one for us because we'd learnt our lessons. We actually started up a full-scale at-home letterbox cocktail concept where we can deliver overnight cocktails to people for celebrations, gifts and everything else. What's brilliant is a lot of what we've done through the lockdown hasn't come from us as owners, it's actually come from the teams in the sites. The Victoria Mile End, they're doing a lot now around sustainable fish, British Court shores. We all know about Brexit and the issue with shellfish not now being able to leave these islands, so we're selling and take away a hell of a lot of oysters and mussels and scallops because we can, and everything's British. And with the packaging and the cocktails, that's come from the team at the wine mill and the management team there. So it's a real collective effort actually, yeah. When the pandemic hit, I think it was very easy for us to kind of turn around and say, you know what, we've got to survive this, let's forget about sustainability. But what we actually did was the opposite. We wanted to make sure that everything from our chilled packaging through to our labelling, right through to even what the courier provides us with, is all recyclable. So that's taken a long time to develop, and it's really cool things like we're using a company called Wool, which use old sheep's wool to kind of insulate boxes. All that is fantastic. So it's taken time, but what we've done is stuck to our guns and made sure actually that during this pandemic we've become more sustainable than when we were going into it at the beginning. I think over the last few years, Publican Awards, our peers, everything else as well, we've seen just an incredible push towards sustainability, and I think our industry is doing a great job. I could talk about the guys at Darwin and Wallace who won 2 years ago, finalists with us again this year. Peter Bugnell with Oakman Inns and the work that BI did around the plastic straws and moving over to renewable disposable straws. All these things have been absolutely amazing, and I think as an industry, as a collective, we're doing great things, and we hope that we're innovating and playing our part, and some of what we do will transfer to other people as well.